She writes poetry, as well as short and long-form narrative fiction and the occasional dramatic script. She has been published in literary journals, magazines, and anthologies across Canada and internationally, and has been recognized by nominations and awards in all genres. Her first full-length poetry collection, Last Hours, which is excellent, from Riddle Fence Debuts Press, was released in spring 2024 and subsequently nominated for the League of Canadian Poets Gerald Lampert Award for Best First Book of Canadian Poetry. Jennifer lives in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, with her partner and their 4 children. Please welcome Jennifer.
Thank you, Aaron, and Joel for inviting me and the English department. This was a delightful contest to judge. I had a great time going through all of your work. I don't know if you guys know who has won yet or not, or if this is being announced at this event, but I'd like to extend my congratulations to the winners and to those runners-up. I'm not going to say a whole lot because I actually would like to read some poetry. As mentioned, in years gone by, I believe the year was 2003, I did win the Gregory J Award under another name known as my maiden name, which is how long ago this was. And I did a deep dive into some archives and found a copy of the poem that won the Gregory J Power Award back in 2003. And it is mine, and it is called Green Turkey, and I'm going to read it for you now. Green Turkey. My mother's kitchen is mouse-free. Pipes pillar through my kitchen cupboards. Mice climb them from basement to attic, slide them like fire poles all night long. Rodents frolic in the flour, they rattle in the rice and run in the raisins. My mother's fridge speaks and turns out its own light. My fridge just leaks something. In it, I recently found a bowl borrowed from my mother, blooming green turkey, festive-like. Tucked right in back and too terrible to contemplate, it languished till Groundhog Day. This is not to say that a head of lettuce does not ever weep in my mother's crisper, or a lone meatloaf silently give up the ghost. The difference between us is my mother does the proper penance. She urges over the toilet bowl while scraping in the decayed corpse of something that was once decent. Double flush, rinse with bleach, then back down to the kitchen to double scrub the contaminated plate. It's true, my mother's fridge speaks, but seldom does it narrate the passing of leftovers or the death of last week's dinner. My kitchen is written in hieroglyphs of mouse scat, scattered patterns of raisins and rice, and my fridge leaks something. Unlike my mother, I am unrepentant. Eventually, it all goes out in the garbage, green turkey, borrowed bowl, and all. And the next poem I'm going to read is another deep dive. I see Mary Dalton there. This poem came from coursework in one of Mary's courses. I think it was called The Poem and the Painting. I did a series of 3 poems that came from that course, which ended up winning the Atlantic Writing Prize in the early 2000s. So I'm going to read one of those poems for you today. And again, this came from Mary Dalton's coursework, and I encourage you to, if any of you have material that's come from your coursework, it doesn't have to stay coursework. You can work on that. You can submit that. It can go places. This is a poem that's based on a David Blackwood painting called Graham Glover's Dream. After viewing David Blackwood's Graham Glover's Dream, this is a house I've been in before, sleeping. This is a house I've seen from inside, peeling wallpaper flowers, dripping water, rotting joists. I know the ceiling is slanted. I know the floor is bowed. Decay is forever preserved in the long winter ice, glacially slow in its flow over the sill. This is a place that clearly should have been left long before this. And so the long line of leaving is infinite. And so is the not looking back. The last one that does is the one that turned them all into pillars of salty ice, forever walking away into nothing. Thank you. And because winter is still sort of clinging on, and I've been feeling rather maudlin lately, I'm going to read another sort of depressing poem. This one from my book. I quite like it, though. It's the last poem in my book, Last Hours. It's called Visitation. Visitation. Through shears, the sky, sere blue, flat-stitched by herringbone surus. Dawn, when tidewater comes seeping, black under the back door. I call out, what do we do? Uselessly gathering shoes and lifting books from the wet, you say, turn the breakers off. The wind is blowing cold. Our youngest out the side door on the hill. A gray cat that was sleeping yesterday on a stone in the sun is dead. I say to someone I can't see, is that cat dead? And someone that isn't you replies, well, something around here is. I think it's in there, where a hole is in the hill. I know something has crept in deep and died, because we see the brown straw hill swarm, a burial mound braided with jewel-toned flies. Our child picks up the sleeping cat, stiff, hard as stone, and cold. Flies in a clump spill out the whiskered mouth. Your mother is there, in a nightdress that's white. And you say, I should have known all along where we could have gone. It was Mom's. Then we hear her, distant, on the phone upstairs. She is so scared. I came up to the room to pray, and Les was there. What do I do? They are shadows now, behind the curtain doors. I remember how each packed a suitcase at the wharf with stones and beach rocks, and one by one walked off. Now that tide pulses at our own back door, and finally the answer comes, nothing and no one. Glad and Leander, Albert, Margaret, and Viola too. Joyce in a twin set outside laughing like that old milk cow never kicked her and her bucket over. Everyone that old dark water has ever closed over is seeping under every door on our ground floor, each one bent on coming back home. And now I'm going to end off. I'm not sure how long I've been up here. I never know when I'm reading. Am I doing all right for time? Let's see here. I had to take screenshots of everything. Let's see. Okay, here's one that is, this is coming out in the Dalhousie Review at some point soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be summer or fall. It's called Hourglass. And I think this may be the first time I've read this one in public. Hourglass. I want to be that person. The one who finds a black widow curled in a plastic clamshell of Costco grapes. A Brazilian wandering spider in a bunch of underripe bananas. The one who finds a body in the bushes on her early morning walk. I want to be the one on the news at 7, pointing out the red hourglass on the abdomen, a hairy leg among the peels, the wet sneaker in the underbrush. It was right here. I didn't know what it was at first. It was a normal day, just like all the others. I want to be prepared for sudden danger. The accident round a corner, a venomous bite, the fall of a republic. I want to be the one who knows for sure that time is running out. And I've just got 2 more for you. These are also new. Parking Lot Poem, which was published online as a part of the Tuesday Poem series at ducey.blogspot.com. This one is called Parking Lot Poem. And it's about my second oldest child who just graduated high school last year. He knows, he's cool with it, it's all right. I read it to him. Parking lot poem. My boy, I worry for you. Almost 18, brilliant, and lagging academically. ADHD, anxiety, depression, the lockdown triad. In the parking lot of HHM, it's 10 a.m., late. And to further delay, you're asking all the right questions. Do you think it's right to use robots as slaves? What about sex bots? Is that okay? Rain dribbles down the windshield, and our heads swivel to follow a girl fleeing the cinder block entryway. Angry? Sad? Tear-streaked anyway. She plunges into an idling 4x4, just like OJ, the teen driver, tears away. Outside, the right conversation is rushed in a potholed parking lot. Too late. And the last one I'm going to read for you is a poem I wrote after reading in this a poem about homelessness in the city council chambers. I think it was last winter maybe. And it was kind of a surreal experience, and I felt moved to write some verse about it. This poem is called Eliding. I read a poem about homelessness and addiction in the city council chambers today. It was perhaps unexpected. The few people remaining in the spectators' gallery fell silent. The mayor, seated at the edge of my peripherals, clearly uncomfortable. I speak the words choked and vomit, but elide the word shit. The next presenter in line, a plush codfish mascot, gives me a high five with its soft fin. A man in a pale blue tailored suit leans out to whisper, "That was really good." I ended the reading with a colorful poem about flowers, but I could tell it didn't fool anyone. Thank you.